Hey everyone, this is Cameron Giardini with Boomer Health Group, and this video is going to talk about how to pick a Medicare Advantage plan or Part C. So this is assuming you have made the choice that you would like to go with an Advantage plan instead of Medigap. If you're not at that point yet, go to our videos that talk about the difference between Medicare Advantage and Medigap. But again, if you are at that point where you're ready to go and you think, okay, Medicare Advantage is the route I'd like to take, this is a very important video that's going to talk about how to make that decision in the best way possible. Now, it's not going to be pick the company you're most familiar with, pick the one that you might like the best as far as who you had in the past. This is just going to be, logically speaking, I do this, I go to this doctor, what plan is going to be best for me? So, with that being said, the first thing you really want to do is check how the different Medicare Advantage plans in your area will cover prescriptions. So how to do this is you go to medicare.gov, just like the other videos we talked about with prescriptions. Go to Find Health and Drug Plans. Click that button. You'll put a zip code in, whatever your zip code is. And here you can do the same thing like other videos. I don't know what I have. I don't know what I have. And yes, I would like to add drugs. Now, before I keep going, I do want to say that this is something we can do for you. It's not saying you have to do this on your own, but it is showing you exactly how we come up with recommendations for various Advantage plans for individuals. Because if you'll see, there's dozens of them out there, so we need to think of a logical way to find the best plan for you. So this is how we tend to do it. With that being said, we'll say you take a cholesterol medication, and we'll say you take a blood pressure medication. And then we'll add something else too. Let's say you also take an inhaler. So this is going to be a little bit more costly. I don't want to just do generics because sometimes prescriptions can be the reason you go with one company over the other. It's important to remember with Medicare Advantage plans that the drug coverage is built in, so you want to find a company that not only has a strong network of providers and coverage, but also covers your specific medications well. I would argue that the medications are the most important if you're taking expensive ones, so that's why I decided to start here. With that being said, I'll say that the drug list is complete. I'm going to pick CVS just as a pharmacy. Make it easy. Continue to plan results. Remember, you can pick two pharmacies to compare it to. I'm just going to do CVS for this. And then right here, this is important. So there's three different options. You can either pick just the prescription drug plans, but that is only if you have a Medigap plan. So if you're doing a Medicare Advantage plan, make sure you click the second square, which is Medicare health plans with drug coverage. So you click on that, and you continue to the plan results. This is going to pull up. I'm going to do view all real quick. This is going to show you all the different plans in your area and what the medications would cost based off what we entered. So you can see here, HAP Senior Plus HMO is coming in as the cheapest plan. Right here on the left, you can see the cost as of today for medications. So if I go click on HAP, I can do cost of drugs and coverage. You can see that it covers the medications fairly well. You're going to have a $42 copay for the Pro Air HFA, which is the inhaler, which is not bad for a brand name medication like that. So again, this just shows you that HAP in this instance is the best plan based off of those medications. Now, again, it's important to remember that is only a part of the equation. So just because it covers your medications well does not mean, okay, yep, you just go with HAP, no problem. They'll have the best coverage for you. Because remember, you still want to make sure that your doctors are a network. So you can see here, Priority Health, they have a cost of $392 for the year compared to HAP's $252. And again, that is including the cost of your medications at the pharmacy. And then you'll also notice that these are HMO plans, and there's other plans which are PPO plans. So real quick, make a note that if you are curious about the difference or you don't know the difference between the HMO and the PPO, please watch the video specifically talking about those differences because it is a big component when choosing a Medicare Advantage plan. So with that being said, you want to pick the plan. You want to start here with drug coverage. This gives you an idea. So that way you can look at the next step, which is, are my doctors covered? So with Medicare Advantage plans, it's important to look at this paragraph and sentence right here. So with Medigap plans, if you'll remember from our other videos, you can see any doctor that accepts Medicare. There's no networks and there's no limitations. Now, Medicare Advantage, that is not the case. Because Medicare Advantage plans are primary to Medicare, you are contractually obligated to see the doctors in the network that your plan decides. So, for instance, this is with Priority Health. If you have any questions or if you want to find your doctors, take a list, get all of them together, find the company that you're sort of thinking might have pretty good coverage based off medications or coverage. Go to their website. Again, we can do this for you. And you simply go through it and you figure out all your doctors. Like this one, Dr. Smith, in this zip code. You can search them on Priority's website. And then you can see here, there's a Noah Smith that is in Priority Health's Medicare network. So if Noah Smith is your doctor and you're thinking about a priority plan because it covers your medications well and it covers everything else pretty well, this is one thing you would do. Make sure they're in network. If that's the case, you're good to go. So again, going back to HAP, for instance, maybe you are not a fan of HAP's somewhat smaller network. They tend to be a little bit better in Metro Detroit and on the east side of Michigan. But if you are more comfortable with a larger network, you may want to spend a little bit more on your medications in order to have that flexibility of a more inclusive network. So first two things are make sure your medications are covered well, and then make sure your doctor is in network. And I'm going to go back to the medications real quick because you can even see there are some plans that are very expensive. I mean, you can buy a Blue Cross plan, which is actually going to be close to $300 per month in premium. And if I go to how the drugs are covered, you're still paying even more than the HAP plan that was $0. So you pay $300 for a plan you think is really good just because it's expensive, but really it's costing you more out of pocket than the HAP plan that was $0. And again, I'm just using HAP as an example. Many times there are lower cost plans that will cover certain things better than you would think despite the low premium. So make sure your medications are covered well, make sure your doctor is in network, and lastly, this is something you'll want to do for every plan. Make sure that the actual benefits are rich enough for your liking. So this is Medicare Plus Blue with Blue Cross. It is a PPO plan, so a little bit more flexibility. With that comes some added cost. You can see here they have 4 plans, the Essential, Vitality, Signature, and Assure plan, and they range from $8 a month up to $313 a month based on your location. So with that being said, you can go through this entire summary of benefits, and you can see here that the Essential plan will have a little bit higher out-of-pocket costs for the year, where the Assure plan will have a lower cost. But again, you're paying more for the premium, so it's one of those things you just want to see what the actual benefits are of the plan, what it will cost you at the primary care doctor, what it will cost you at the specialist, or if you have to get surgery, stay in the hospital. There are copays associated with everything when it comes to Medicare Advantage plans. You can see the more expensive plan will cost you $100 a day at the hospital, and the cheapest plan will cost you $275 a day at the hospital. So there are a lot of factors going into it. There may also be additional dental and vision with certain plans. So that is really the third thing that we would tend to look at when it comes to all these plans. So I would say start out with your medications, get a good idea from that how your medications are covered. Decide first off also whether or not you want a PPO plan with more flexibility and more out-of-network coverage, or an HMO plan, which is going to be more restricted in the network and therefore may give you some lower out-of-pocket costs. I can tell you, I personally recommend the PPO because you just never know what's going to happen with out-of-network expenses. So go to our other video, HMO versus PPO. That I'll do a deeper dive and as to why I would lean more towards the PPO. But again, once you figured out the medications, once you figured out HMO versus PPO, I would say look at all the benefits and see which plan with which company is matching your goals. And then also after that, make sure your doctor and your specialist are in network. So that's really the three things that I look at when it comes to Medicare Advantage plans. It is important to note that you can change your Medicare Advantage plan once a year. So if you realize that maybe this year you're not going to have as high of health expenses, you may want to go with the lower cost plan. If you expect more travel, you can always make adjustments based off of that. But don't just get the most expensive plan thinking it's going to cover you the best, or don't get the cheapest plan without thinking about some of the drawbacks of the plan being cheaper, like having a more limited network. So I know this is a pretty long video. It's a little bit in depth, but it is probably the most important thing to do once you have decided, yes, I want a Medicare Advantage plan. Please don't just pick the plan that you've heard the most of or seen on TV or your friends have. Pick the one that works for you. And then next year and the year after, keep picking the plan the same exact way, just like I showed you guys in this video. So if you have any questions, give us a call. We'll walk through this with you. We can do it on our time so you don't have to sit through it. But this is what we are doing on our end, so I wanted you guys to see that. If you have any more questions, let us know or keep watching more videos, and we will talk to you guys later.